Hi, my name's Adam. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us in our fifth and final video on RSPs and what happens to RSP when you retire. Today we're going to focus on a very important topic, and that is what happens to your RSP or your RRIF, retirement income fund, when you pass away. So when you pass away and you have a RRIF or an RSP still, that will pass to your spouse or common law partner if you have one, tax-free. So it'll just roll over to them. But what happens if you don't have a spouse or common law partner or they passed away already? So if you pass away with an RSP or a RRIF and your spouse or common law partner has already passed away or you don't have one, that amount of account is added to your income for the year. So let's say your RSP or your RRIF is $250,000 when you pass away. That is added to your income in year of death. So you've fallen into, maybe you're only collecting $40,000 a year in retirement, you're paying very little tax, and all of a sudden the day you die, that year, your income goes from $40,000 to $250,000. The reality is that that's added to your income, and depending where you live in Canada, you're gonna lose roughly 50% of that to taxes. So be very aware of that. As you do some estate planning and retirement planning with your financial planner, look at, okay, well, if I pass away at 80, what happens? Like, how much RSP do I have left, or RRIF do you have left? How much tax is gonna be due? If you pass away at 85, 90, 95. So look at those numbers. Again, we're working with a client right now, and we're looking at those numbers, and we're looking to redeem his RRIF a lot faster than we maybe would otherwise, because it's gonna change the taxes due on death at about 85 by about $200,000. So pay attention to estate planning when you look at how much RRIF you're taking out. Yes, if you take out more RRIF now, you may pay a little bit more tax now, but if you can spread that tax bill out over time, it's gonna be much more beneficial than dying with a huge amount of RSP or RRIF money down the road. So again, when you pass away, whatever money you have in your RRIF, if you don't have a spouse or common law partner, that is added to your income in year of death, which again, assume a 50% tax rate. Half of your RRIF is gone to the government, half of it will pass on to your beneficiaries, which brings up a very important part, okay? So a lot of our clients think, okay, well, we have our house over here and we have our, our RRIF over here, okay? So let's say you have a RRIF that's worth $500,000 and your house is worth $500,000 and you have two kids. And your plan, one kid's gonna get the house, one kid's gonna get the RRIF. Great in concept, but the reality is that your house is a principal residence. There's no tax. There's probate, depending on what province or territory, your probate is due, but there's no tax due on that. So essentially, let's call it $500,000 is gonna pass to one of your kids. Your $500,000 RRIF is taxable, okay? Half of that is gonna go to the tax man. Half of it can then pass to your other child. So one kid is getting $500,000 asset, the other is getting a $250,000 asset. So be very aware of what happens to registered assets when you pass away, and the equalization to beneficiaries when you pass away as well. So, your RRIF account, assume half of it is gone to taxes in year of death. Again, if your RRIF account's a bit smaller, it may be less, but let's assume a 50% tax rate in year of death on any RRIF account you have left. So what are strategies to kind of reduce that tax bill on death? Well, the best strategy is to look and work with a financial planner, work through software. We use software to create strategies to lower your taxes now, until assumed death, let's say 85 or 90, but also reduce the tax bill on death as well. So there's a lot that goes into estate planning, and combine that with retirement planning, retirement income planning today. So it might mean you take a bit more out of your RRIF now to make sure that you don't have a large RRIF at 80, 85 when potentially you could pass away. We don't want to lose half of that money to the tax man. So make sure to take a step back with your financial planner, create a strategy that provides good income for you now. You're not paying a whole lot of tax now, but also doesn't leave you with a large RRIF down the road. So be aware, 50% of your RRIF account when you pass away without a spouse or common law partner will be taxed at 50%. So it's a huge punitive tax bill on death. Don't run into that. Make sure you start redeeming it and decumulating your RRIF account earlier on so that you're not left with a huge tax bill on death, losing half of it to the government in the form of taxes and leaving less to kids, grandkids, charities, whoever it is. So look at your estate plan when looking at RRIF withdrawals to make sure that you're reducing that tax bill. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can actually, if you're already in retirement, pulling money out of your RRIF, sit down with your financial planner. If you're not working with one, hire one to put a plan together for you. We're happy to do that. Reach out. We've had lots of you actually reach out to us through YouTube. Just email me, info@parallelwealth.com. Happy to chat, happy to see if we can help you guys out. Again, even if you're in retirement, already redeeming down your RRIF, let's look at what that, if you live till 85 or 90, what's your tax bill? Can we reduce that by pulling out a bit more now without paying much more tax down? Basically spreading that tax over many years versus 50% tax rate in 1 year. So give us a show, email us. If you're working with a financial planner, make sure you have a clear plan in place and know what your estate taxes are going to be when you pass away. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and the 4 before this. If you haven't checked out the 4 before this video, we will put a link below to all 4 videos. Again, this is a mini series around what happens to RRSP when you retire, converting to a RRIF. Withdrawal rates, all that kind of stuff. So we'll put a link to all 4 videos below this. Check those out if you haven't already. Thanks again for joining us in this video and in this mini series. Hope you have a great day.